the only love, but it is the greatest love.
Yes.
Is the love of the people.
Right.
There's nothing like going through the airport and 30 Africans run up to you and the white people looking like, who the fuck is he?
Right.
They looking like, is he?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I love, and I love, because, you know, they think they got to know everything. They come over.
Who are you?
I feel like I should know you.
Right.
Listen to that, though. I feel, why do you feel you need to know me?
Right.
And then I say, I'm just a psychologist. Then they still like, okay, but first of all, they shocked because they thought you was going to say rapper or athlete.
Exactly.
But even when you say psychologist, they're like, well, psychologist.
Doesn't make sense. That reaction, psychologist.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just kind of leave it like that because you never know who you dealing with.
Right.
Like the stewardess will ask you, I don't like to give them too much unless they black.
Right.
Because you might put some shit in my drink. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And,
So
I'm glad you militant in that way.
Yeah, you got to keep your head on the swivel.
What I've always appreciated about you, whether you were getting millions of views or not, you've always understood the seriousness of your banter, of your rhetoric, of what your position is, of your mission. And I think that's very important to see a black man militant. I was telling him earlier before you got here, I said, Umar is probably one of the only ones. And there's a lot of strong black men in the space. But you will not fold.
No.
And bro, trust me, us other black men, when we say, if they let Umar on CNN, if they let him on MS, he's not folding.
Oh, no, sir.
So don't send the invite.
And that's why they ain't going to send me. You'll never see me on there. Now, I just got an invitation to be on Piers Morgan.
We about to talk about him in just a second.
You know, and I didn't accept it because I noticed with some of them, even though he's really popular and he got millions, don't bring me on there for no nonsense. Yes. And what I noticed, and I went through this a little bit with Fox Soul. No disrespect to Fox Soul because they just reached back out to me. I'm going to give them another chance. But you don't take somebody with these kind of credentials and this type of following and this seriousness behind his work and put him on a panel with goofballs.
At all.
And you see?
At all.
That's what Piers Morgan, I got an invite for a white podcast. I'm not going to mention his name. He's very popular. He wanted me to debate Jesse Lee Peterson, right? Now, me and Jesse Lee Peterson, are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I know Jesse.
We've debated before. I was on his show before. He was on Fox Soul before.
Okay.
He and I have shared airways maybe 3 times, right?
Okay.
I turned down the interview, right? Because I said, I am not going to go on this show. And this was live in studio. And I think he's in Florida too. I am not going to go on this show and debate another black man, even though he is a coon, for the entertainment of white people.
Right.
See, when he first reached out, Loon, I'm thinking we're going to have a conversation like us. We're going to go around the world and talk. No, I want you to debate Jesse Lee Peterson. You already know what he stands for.
Right.
You already know what I stand for. So this cannot be serious.
Yeah.
You want us to fight each other for the entertainment of Caucasians. I'm not doing that.
And I appreciate you for saying that. Matter of fact, let's get to Piers. So Piers Morgan has been in the news or in black culture going viral right now, in particular for he was on a panel. Let me get the names right. I think it was, I want to make sure I have the young lady's names. I mean, I don't have the names. Nonetheless, it was Piers Morgan, Marc Lamont Hill, Myron Gaines from Fresh.
Somebody sent me a clip.
Right. And so what we had is Piers Morgan was in a scenario where he asked for this young lady, he invited her to say a racial slur.
People stand up for themselves. We're labeled racist. And by the way, you call people racist when you want them to stop talking about things.
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were racist. Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around black people. I prefer not to live in a country where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer that. That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image. So I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happens to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference?
Because you've literally made black people sound lesser humans. You don't want to live around them. You want to use the M word in relation to them, a word that you know causes that community unbelievable offense. Is that my
fault? Is that my fault? If they have bad behavior, if they want to act in a certain way, if I have to cross the street and be afraid that maybe because of the crime statistics that are very real, by the way, is that my fault or is that their fault for having bad behavior?
That's mind-boggling to me for multiple reasons. I mean, we're talking about bad behavior.